Hey, super excited to make this video. And essentially, this video is going to be a video that's going to have multiple ones, specifically like exactly this one on my YouTube channel. And essentially, in these videos, I'll be going down and breaking down the whole system because I want to give as much value as I can. If someone is out here looking through my content and wants to actually start their very own course or program as a creator and are kind of stuck around the whole process, like actually how to get started and what it actually takes to build one of these, right? It's a bit more complicated than what people think. So in these videos, I kind of want to go over taking a creator, for example, that is currently not having a program or a course and actually turning them into someone who has one and is very successful, makes money with it, right? So I'll choose someone specifically. If this is not a client of mine, this is just someone I chose specifically and show you the exact process I would exactly do with them, and show you how they can actually go to those really good numbers with their course program, right? So essentially, this is the series that I want to do on this channel. So essentially, in this video, if you read the title, we'll be going over Julia, who has a following about 15,000 followers on Instagram, and I'll actually show you exactly how, in my eyes, we're actually able to turn her content creation and what she's doing with her followers and turn it into a $20,000 per month business, right? Having an actual online program. So I'll go exactly the exact steps on how I would do that if I was her, essentially, right? And this kind of breaks down in four parts, which essentially these four parts I will be going into deeply, right? So account and market analysis, so kind of seeing what the account looks like, seeing the competitors in the niche, and just doing an overall analysis. Offer creation ideation, so actually coming up with the offer, what's going to be inside everything. I'll break everything down. The platforms and the funnels, this is often sometimes people ask me or don't know where to start on that, like what do I host it on, the funnels, what does that even look like, how do I actually build it. I'll show you everything there. Again, I'll show you absolutely everything. And the marketing and scaling, how do you actually market one of these course or programs? Like, how do you go about the marketing strategy, and how do you go about the scaling strategy, right? When you have an actual program, how do you go actually about scaling the whole thing out, again, to those 20,000 or maybe even more, right? Depends on your case. So essentially 15,000 followers isn't big, but she easily could be able to turn that to $20,000 per month. And I'll show you exactly how I would do it. So here's a profile. This is her right here. She is a content creator, UGC creator, makes money working with brands, essentially. Pretty basic account. Not crazy amount of followers, like mentioned. And we'll actually be able to turn her into a $20,000 per month online program business owner, right? And this is using our very own process and systems that we've used with similar clients. And essentially, it's the systems that we're able to turn content creators with followers into online program and course owners, right? So essentially, this is the system that we use. So I'm getting a lot of free value. Usually, I maybe charge for this, but giving you for free, right? So in detail. So let's start with the account analysis. Super important to see what's the account and stuff like that, right? So we can see her going through her content, essentially what kind of content she posts and stuff like that. She's very good at content creation. So first of all, we have identified a skill of hers, which is super important at identifying your own skill, right? She showcases a way she makes money online through UGC, again, which is super good as a money-making niche, right? She has a very good looking account that's growing quickly. Obviously, you can see she makes really good content, and her account is growing quite quickly. The niche has proven success as well. UGC and making money through content creation is not only booming right now, but it is very proven, and a lot of others have success. And I'm going to show you that as well. As well as that, she is very skilled at something, like mentioned, super important to have a skill or knowledge. Again, she is very up and coming, and the niche again is gaining popularity quickly. So these are all really good signs. And through all of that, having that specific account, yes, through her account she'll make money through band deals and doing UGC, but she currently isn't offering anything to those 15,000 followers who maybe want to learn exactly what she's doing, right? And all of these essentially are very good signs and green flags that this, in her specific case, an online program would actually work, right? This is something we look at when we want to work with people, is these kind of tells and these kind of good signs before actually working with them, right? So in this case, it's a really good opportunity. So now actually moving on to the market analysis. So seeing what other people in her specific niche and specifically about content creation UGC are actually doing, right? So it's super important to look at others in your market if you're doing this yourself, not only in her case, to see what they're doing in their processes. Like, how are they actually offering this? Like, what does it look like? What are their marketing like? Just, it's really good idea to just see what others are doing. One of the reasons I'm making this is here specifically is that she is in a proven niche, right? So it's easy to go out and go look at on the market. So something to think in mind is that there's most likely someone in your niche, right? If you're watching this, you've been planning to do this and you want to do market analysis, it's important to realize that someone in your niche is probably making at least $50,000 per month with their program in your specific niche. Even though you're super, niche maybe, there's someone out there making it. So super important to do market analysis and see what they're doing, right? It will help you do a lot of things, but it will help you take inspiration from what they're doing, see their pricing, how much are they actually pricing their content, pricing their actual program. Look at their content, actually what they're doing, their account layout, how does it look like, and more. Right? There's a lot of things you can learn from looking at others in your niche. So here's some market research that I did specifically for Julia, right? Because obviously this video is about her. Here's some account that I found quickly, right? This is about 5-10 minutes into market research. Like I've already found a bunch of accounts who are doing this. And these people from my research are at least all doing at least $10,000+ per month with it. Some are even in the 15, 30+ thousand dollars per month range. Obviously they're a bit more popular than Julia, but definitely a good source of inspiration to see how they run. So these are people, right? 55,000 followers, train UGC creators, same thing here, 50,000, 72,000, 64,000, all in the same kind of niche, come in the same aesthetic. So really, these are really good to look at, right? And from someone who's in exact space, right, I help people with their programs and launch one of these things. I know exactly just from looking at these accounts what systems they're using, so I can actually just take them and just replicate them for anybody, right? Specifically Julia in this case, right? So offer creation ideation. It kind of starts by finding out what offer to build, right? You've looked at others, now it's actually time to create your own offer. In her case specifically, there's multiple ways you can actually find out on what to offer, right? The first one you can do it is by posting stories, right? You're gonna gain a lot of information from who follows you, why they follow you, what help are they looking for. You can ask them like what they want to do with content creation, how much they would actually pay. Like you can find a lot of information through stories alone, through polls. That's going to give you a good idea. You can also create forms, so Google Forms, any kind of form platform for your followers, maybe through your stories, your content. They can kind of fill it out, and you can kind of ask similar questions to before. These kind of questions, they'll also give you a good idea of what they're actually looking out for. That's going to help you with your offer. If you want to know exactly the exact questions to ask your followers, you can always DM me on Instagram, and I can tell you that. And then also taking inspiration from competitors to actually build your offer is very powerful. Look at others, what they're doing, and see like what offer they have, right? And you can actually take inspiration directly from that. You can do that paired with having your own stories and your forms, and that's really going to help you with actually building your offer and stuff like that, right? Now onto the second thing, coming up with the details, right? Right, you have your offer and what it looks like. Coming out with the actual details of that specific offer, right? If we go down here, coming up with the details. Now that you know their struggles, what they want to do, what type of actual help they need, and all the info essentially you need to create your offer, right? If you've done your market research, you know exactly what your audience wants and why they follow you. This is where you create the offer. And in Julia's case, this is the offer we would do, right? Just for doing a quick overview. Obviously, we'd probably spend more time looking exactly what her offer would be. But essentially, in a big overview, this is what it would be like. Helping girls transition from their 9 to 5 and becoming full-time UGC creators. Why? Essentially because that's exactly what she's done, I believe. So that would be the offer, right? It's a simple offer, could be a bit more precise, but this is essentially the main offer. Now you have to build around it, right? And again, let's break down very specifically what this offer consists of. Right, so let's now break down the actual details of that specific offer and what her program will actually consist of, right? Specifically in Julia's case, right? Again, this series, I'm going to do a bunch of creators, so maybe someone's going to be in your niche and you're going to be able to take the actual actionables that I give you on how to actually build this, right? So here's the offer, like mentioned. It contains 3 parts, right? The first part is the course material. So this is the actual videos and the resources inside of that actual program. And essentially this part is one of the most important ones. Like it's the actual information. So it's the course material, right? And the first step to doing this is the most simple way to actually come up with a really good course layout is simply by utilizing AI tools, right? You can use ChatGPT. And again, the key with this is not to copy exactly what it gives you, but give it inspiration around it, right? So you can build a course layout and make sure to describe all the information you got from the previous analyzing from your current market. So build a paragraph and tell it to write you a course layout, right? So essentially this is what it looks like. Maybe you're going to get something like this. You have to edit it, obviously. Make it as detailed as you would like, and you can always modify it to your liking, right? Essentially that's going to give you an idea of what you want to talk about. And if there's things, you don't feel comfortable talking about, just remove them, whatever. And obviously there's secrets in order to make this a good course layout from ChatGPT. And sometimes you have to also use human thoughts and stuff like that. It's not just AI that can build you it. And essentially, this is what we do as well. So I'm not going to give you all the secrets, right? So again, on the program, you have to also have a community and group access. This is a way where you can actually implement this inside your program to be able to charge more. Super important to have this around. There's many platforms you can use for that. But essentially, you just give the members access to a group chat where they can actually just talk to each other, a private one-on-one DM for, let's say, Julia in this case, directly. You have to make sure to keep everything active and interactive. And for Julia, you can answer UGC questions, give UGC opportunities, configuration tips, and you can create something where people essentially connect with like-minded girls, right? Essentially, that's the whole thing. And as well with that, you also want to put a coaching side. Essentially, this is a part where you can implement weekly, bi-weekly calls, training calls, or something similar inside the group. This is, again, just to help people with the whole process of actually becoming UGC creators in this specific case. Offer one-to-one calls for the most active ones in the group. It's one of the strategies we use to keep it interactive as well. And you can also have the possibility to offer one-to-one mentorship coaching for extra fees. Essentially what we call upselling. It's another strategy of which I'm not going to go exactly in depth, but it's a strategy you can use, right, for that specific thing. So now moving on to the platform and funnels. How do you actually put everything that you've done, right? You record the video modules inside the platform, you've done the layout and stuff like that. Maybe put a better branding. I haven't gone to the branding side of things. You can brand it obviously to your liking because that's super, super personal. But the platform and funnels, how do you actually put it online, right? How do you actually host it? It kind of starts with the website sales funnel. Super important not to have a website. This is not, a few years back. We want sales funnels now to actually just convert people who go on this specific page, right? And essentially, this sales funnel, I'm not going to go super in depth of what it should look like, but it should contain a VSL, super important. It's a video explaining what the actual offer looks like and UGC and all its opportunities. It should be a one-pager. I shouldn't have multiple pages. It should be just a one-pager that goes in depth on the offer and what she can do for you inside her program. It must have the right layout for a sales page, super important. Must have the right copywriting as well. Everything that we do for our own clients. And for Julia specifically, it has to be explaining the benefits of doing UGC, explain us, what their current situation looked like, desired situation. This is basic sales stuff. And again, there are many sales page platforms to use. We obviously have our preferred ones. I'm not going to tell you which one that is because you choose whatever you want, but we use that one for our clients, right? And then moving on to the actual program hosting platform. So where do you actually host all the material that you've done, right? And essentially, this is where you implement all the course materials, so the videos I just showed you inside the platform. This is where you set up the community, like I said, super important. Set up the calls and coaching and accountability and all that stuff like that. This is super important for a program to have success. Put everything to your brand to make it your own. Obviously, your branding side of things, so brand everything to what you want to do it. And again, there are many platforms to use. Obviously, we have a preferred one. Maybe you can guess it from here. But essentially, this is the one we use, and there are multiple ones out there. You can do your own research, but we have one that's really, really good that we only use for our own clients. But again, you can choose whichever you want. It doesn't really matter that much. So now moving on, once you actually have all the actual sales funnels and the programs and you know what you're hosting it on, and essentially it is online, now essentially just time to market it and scale it to the most you can, right? And again, these are strategies we use. And exactly, I'll go in depth for Julia, what she should be doing and what maybe you could be doing as well to market it and to scale it, right? So for the marketing strategies from her account, essentially marketing is just a way of portraying the offer through her content, right? That's essentially what marketing is. And marketing strategies really depends on which angle you want to take to sell your offer. there's multiple ways you can find your marketing angle. I'm not going to go in depth because it is pretty complicated. But let's say for Julia, for example, what we would do, we would simply just look at a competitor's marketing strategy. So in this specific case, sure, that we looked at in the market research and seeing exactly what she does, right? And what's great about this is Julia already has posts similar that kind of look like her content already, which is really good. She can just like tweak a few things and the marketing strategy will be done, right? So now it kind of just is for her content, Julia, to adjust it to the relationship with UGC that she has, right? More than just like talk about brand deals, just more talk about UGC and her journey and everything like that, right? So as in the example here, she could explain about her journey, brand deals with clients, talk about her help of others, let's say in her program, the benefits of you doing UGC and more. That's going to be the marketing side of things, right? People are going to be interested simply if you just talk about it and your journey with it, right? And through that as well, with the marketing, you want to post things and then where people can actually get freebies. So essentially lead magnets about UGC through this content. This will able for you to actually get leads and emails and stuff like that. And you can go through the whole sequences of conversions, again, which is a system I'm not going to go in depth, but it's a system we use with our clients to get leads and everything like that from her account, right? So Julia in this case has two options, either to start a new account dedicated to exactly that, or post on her current account, right? I would personally recommend posting on her account, but it's completely up to her. Marketing strategies can be completely different from one another. Looking at competitors is great, but make sure to incorporate your unique self in your marketing strategy, right? Be you. That's the biggest seller for you and your program, right? Now going on to the scaling, how do you actually take a program that's doing really, really good and scale it, right? So having more people in and scale the whole things to the 5+ figures per month, right? So for the organic scaling, so essentially organic scale is just simply producing, releasing, and creating better content at a bigger rate, right? So it's just producing more. And there's actually a way to do that and scale organically without you having to actually put more time into content. And again, it's not a strategy I will go into, but there's a way you can leverage other people and other strategies to have more content out on other platforms, right? So essentially that's organic scaling, right? And when we're scaling organic with our clients, we really focus on converting content, viral content, and follower content, right? That's the whole goal. And we also dive into organic platforms. So in Julia's case, creating TikTok and a YouTube channel would be really, really great additions to get more organic eyeballs. YouTube is a great platform, TikTok as well. So just incorporating everything to scale her program, right? At the start, it's better just to focus on one platform, but once you're at the scaling phase, go on other platforms, definitely, right? So essentially, this is what it look like. People from all the different channels here get attention, go to the offer, and then make money, right? That's the whole thing if you want to see it visually. Now for the paid scaling, essentially where you pay your way to actually scale, really good strategy we use as well. For paid scaling, Julia could use Instagram ads in a way which is actually attracting new girls to her content. So not organically, just paying, and you can actually target specifically girls who are into content creation or are already content creators. For the ads, easily she can make a creative, specific creative. I'm not going to go in depth on what the creative could look like, or reuse one of her popular reels and turn them as follower ads. Another strategy we use. And essentially, this will allow people to follow her and create conversions with people that are interested. And again, once ads are very profitable, then you just simply just scale the spend that you're spending if you feel like you're making money with them. And that's essentially just scaling, right? You're paying more, you're getting a lot more people. You have to check your ROI and your stats, but essentially that is what paid scaling is all about. So if you're curious about the actual Instagram follower ad process, it's pretty simple. Go on Instagram, you can either boost posts, go in ads manager, and just set up a very simple ad. And usually the ads that perform best is the one that's going to look like her content. So kind of just use something calling out girls who want to get interested in doing UGC content creation, run that, get followers, create conversations with those followers. So DM them. They can buy directly maybe your course or your program. They can ask you questions, whatever. It's just getting more eyeballs to that specific offer, right? And essentially all of this strategies, right? I know I've laid out a lot of things and you may be feeling a bit overwhelmed with the whole process. But essentially these are the strategies we use to take a content creator and actually have them launch their very own successful online program, right? That deals with the strategies. Obviously, they go more in depth on exactly how we do. I haven't talked about conversion systems. I haven't talked about more marketing strategies and branding. But anyways, that's essentially the basis of it, right? But in this case, I want to show you, Julia, how I would do it personally, right? So let's look at the potential revenue. So how much could she actually make from having one of those programs, right? And essentially, you have to have the right offer, which we've done as well, the right marketing, again, we've done as well, and the right conversion systems, which we will do as well. Essentially, this would bring her account easily be able to convert 0.4%, which is really, really small, to her followers to her offer per month. That's essentially what we would think would be able to convert in that specific niche. We would see something like that, right? At a $500 price range. But this is essentially without any scaling strategy, right? So if Julia sells an offer at $500, which really is a good price and an average price we see, and 0.4% of her audience converts per month, so 45 people. So 45 people per month isn't huge, but a $500 price range does make sense, right? We've seen other UGC creators do exactly that. So $500, if you can do quick maths, at 45 people per month, that's $22,000 per month every single month that she'd be making with a program. Again, with everything put in place, right? Super important to have those things put in place. You can't just create a course and then expect to make that kind of money. You have to have the right systems in place, right? But it is to keep in mind, for me saying this to you, that your program actually has to deliver good results. Like if Julia makes this, she actually have to have a program that actually delivers results for people who want to do UGC, right? That's super important. That's like the number one thing. All processes have to be set up correctly, like I mentioned. And again, revenue can vary every month depending on algorithm and followers, right? As well as that. So if this is you, you're someone who's in a similar position as Julia, and you're looking to build, launch, and scale your very own online program, and you are already a skilled creator with at least like 5,000 followers on kind of any given platform, right? This is you. You have followers. You want to actually get an offer to them and bring that online program and get it to 10, 30 plus dollars per month. So this would be you. And you want to have help for these exact systems, and having our help essentially where we exactly implement directly done for you these systems as a partnership. And essentially our partnerships are long term. So all the systems you saw, exactly we would implement them directly done for you with your help. And then we would coach you in the process as well. They go to the link below this video, and you can actually watch through here our qualifying video explaining kind of how we work and who we actually help. And if you find like you're qualified, you can book a time with me and we can go over things. If you're maybe Julia watching this video, you can maybe book a call. If you're interested through that and getting our help to do exactly that. Or if you do have any other questions, you can definitely DM me on Instagram about, let's say, launching your program. Any other questions about the whole process, maybe you're in the middle of this, you want help, definitely feel free to DM me on Instagram at MyGrowthExperts, you can see here. And that was kind of it. Obviously, there's a lot of nuances for this specific case of Julia, but I'll be doing more videos about different types of creators, a bit more popular as well, to see what that could look like, different niches. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.